I yanked a crumpled note out of his jeans pocket while the dryer was still thumping, and the words on it weren't meant for me. The paper was soft, like it had been unfolded 100 times, and my fingers left a sweaty smear across the ink as I flattened it against the washing machine. The hallway light made the writing look almost warm. My stomach didn't. "Don't wear perfume next time," it said. "I want to smell you on my hands when I drive home." The dryer kept spinning like nothing had happened, like my whole life wasn't tilting sideways in a laundry room that suddenly felt too small. I folded the note back up fast, too fast, because I heard the shower shut off upstairs. I slid it into my bra like it was a stolen weapon. Water started running again, sink, not shower, then his footsteps on the stairs. I grabbed a towel and pretended I was sorting socks, my hands moving on autopilot while the note burned against my skin. He walked into the kitchen with damp hair, rubbing it with a t-shirt like he always did, and kissed the top of my head like he always did. His mouth touched my hair, and all I could think was, those hands. Those hands on a steering wheel. Those hands smelling like someone else. "Laundry day, huh?" he said, cheerful, lazy. The dryer buzzer went off like a small alarm. I didn't jump. I wanted to jump. I wanted to throw the dryer door open and scream the note at him. Instead, I smiled so hard my cheeks hurt. "Yeah," I said, and my voice came out normal enough to fool him. He turned to the fridge, pulled out a beer, and popped it open. The metal click sounded like a decision being made. I watched his fingers wrap around the bottle and tried to picture them doing what the note described, tried to picture a woman leaning into him and whispering in the space where I usually stood. He leaned on the counter and started scrolling his phone. Casual, unafraid, like a man who didn't have evidence of his own betrayal pressed against my chest. My eyes dropped without permission to his jeans lying in the laundry basket. The pocket that held the note gaped open like it was mocking me. I caught a smear of pink on the inside seam. Lipstick, faint but there, the kind that survives a wipe and leaves a ghost. He glanced up. "You okay?" I forced a small laugh. "Just tired." He nodded like he believed me. Then his phone buzzed again, and his thumb moved fast. Too fast, tilting the screen away from me. Not much, just enough. The dryer clicked as it cooled, and in the silence I realized something worse than the note. He hadn't bothered to hide it well. This wasn't a mistake, it was comfort, routine. He took a sip, then checked the time on his phone. "I might run out later," he said. "Just for a bit. Need to grab something." "Something," I repeated, keeping my tone light. He smiled at me like I was home, like I was safe, like I was the place he returned to after he got to keep smelling someone else on his hands. I turned back to the laundry basket, dug through the clothes with shaking fingers, and found his other pair of jeans. In the back pocket was a receipt, folded into a tight strip. Hotel, local, dated last Thursday. The note in my bra suddenly felt heavier, and upstairs behind me, his phone buzzed again. This time with a soft, bright chime I'd never heard before. I didn't turn around when that new chime went off, because I could feel him watching for my reaction. He swiped the screen fast, and the light from it flashed across his face like a guilty twitch. I kept my hands buried in warm towels, acting busy, acting normal, while my mind stapled that hotel receipt to the note in my bra and built a timeline I didn't want. Thursday. Last Thursday, he'd told me he had late meetings. He'd come home smelling like soap and mints, kissed me with that careful mouth, and climbed into bed like nothing. I remembered how he'd kept his phone under his pillow that night. I remembered thinking it was work. He cleared his throat. "You want anything while I'm out later?" "Milk," I said immediately, because it was the most boring thing I could think of. I needed boring. I needed him to stay relaxed. He nodded, still leaning on the counter, still holding his beer like a prop. "Sure." My fingers brushed the lipstick smear again when I grabbed his jeans, and I almost dropped them. Instead, I shook them out like I was just checking pockets. Coins, a gum wrapper, and one more thing, small, hard, metallic, a key card. My throat tightened so fast it felt like my body was trying to swallow the evidence. It was the kind hotels give you, white with a thin black stripe, and there was a faint stamp on it that matched the name on the receipt. He didn't see it. He was texting again, shoulders slightly hunched, thumb tapping in little bursts like he was answering in a hurry. I slid the key card into my palm and closed my fist around it until the edges bit my skin. I walked past him to the trash can, pretending I was tossing lint. My heart thumped so hard I could hear it over the fridge hum. His phone buzzed again. He smiled at the screen. Not a polite smile. Not the one he gave me when I showed him a meme. This was private, hungry, like he was being pulled by an invisible string and he liked it. I stopped breathing for 1 second too long and he looked up. "What?" he asked, too quick. "Nothing." I opened a cabinet I didn't need just to move. "Just to thinking about dinner." He relaxed, but only a little. "We can order in. I'll pay." Like money could smooth this out. Like takeout could cover up a hotel key card in my fist. I went upstairs with a basket of clean clothes, each step feeling like I was climbing out of my own life. In our bedroom, his side of the dresser was neat, folded shirts stacked like he cared about appearances. I dropped the laundry on the bed and pulled the note out of my bra. Up close, the handwriting was rushed but confident. Like whoever wrote it knew exactly what she was allowed to ask for. I flipped it over, expecting nothing. There was more. A second line, smaller, like an afterthought. "Same room as last time. Don't be late." My knees hit the mattress without me deciding. Same room. Last time. How many times had there been? I dug the receipt out of my pocket and smoothed it flat. One night, one room, paid with his card. It even had the last 4 digits printed like a signature. I opened my own phone and pulled up our shared bank app, the one we both pretended not to check. My fingers shook so badly I mistyped the passcode twice. Then the transactions loaded, and my vision narrowed like a tunnel. There was the hotel charge from last Thursday, and another one 2 weeks before that, and another a month back. Same place, same amount. A pattern, a routine. Downstairs, he laughed at something on his phone, one sharp little laugh. Then his footsteps moved toward the living room. I could hear the couch springs dip as he sat, comfortable as a man who thought his secrets were still his. I held the key card up to the light, turning it slowly. On the back, in tiny print, was a handwritten number in marker. My stomach rolled, not because of the number, because I knew exactly how to find out who was waiting in that room, if I could get him to take me there without realizing he'd already brought the proof home. I didn't confront him. I set the trap so gently, he thanked me for it. At dinner, I laughed at his stupid story about a coworker spilling coffee, and I watched his eyes flick to his phone every time it buzzed. He kept it face down on his thigh like a secret heartbeat, and when I reached for his hand, he let me, warm, familiar, then pulled away a second later like he'd touched a stove. When he said, "I'm gonna run out for a bit," I didn't ask where. I just stood up and grabbed my coat like it was nothing. He blinked. "You're coming?" "Yeah," I said, smiling. "I need air. And if you're grabbing milk, I'm picking the brand. I'm done with the watery one." His mouth opened, then closed. He laughed too loud. "Okay, sure." In the car, he drove with one hand, the other gripping his phone. The dashboard lights made his knuckles look pale. Every few minutes his screen lit up and he'd angle it away, thumb tapping fast, like he was trying to keep a fire from spreading. I stared out the window and memorized street signs like they were breadcrumbs. He didn't go to the grocery store. He didn't even pretend. He took the same turn he always took to avoid traffic, the one that leads past the river, then under the overpass, then toward the strip of hotels I'd never had a reason to notice before. My pulse stayed weirdly calm, like my body had already decided I was past panic and into execution. He slowed at a red light, and his phone buzzed with that bright, unfamiliar chime. He lifted it, read whatever was there, and his jaw tightened. Then he typed one word. "Here." The light turned green. He pulled into the hotel lot like he'd done it 100 times, not even checking the mirrors, not looking at me, just following muscle memory. The sign glowed above us, the same name printed on the receipt, and my stomach dropped even though I already knew. He parked far from the entrance. Of course he did. He killed the engine and finally looked at me, like he'd remembered I existed. His smile came out wrong, forced at the corners. "So, you want to wait in the car? I'll be quick." "No," I said, "I'm coming in." His eyes widened, and for a second I saw it. Real fear, not fear of losing me, fear of being seen. Babe, he started, reaching for my wrist, gentle grip like a leash. It's just. I pulled my arm back. Just what? He swallowed. I need to talk to someone. It's personal. Then I'll sit in the lobby, I said. I'll scroll my phone. I won't even look up. I just don't feel like sitting out here. His throat moved. He nodded too fast. Okay, fine. Inside, the air smelled like lemon cleaner and cheap perfume layered over it, like someone had tried to erase a thing and failed. The front desk clerk barely glanced at us, which made my skin crawl. Like couples came in like this all the time. Like I was just another woman about to learn something she couldn't unlearn. We walked toward the elevators, his steps quick, mine steady. He pressed the button, the doors opened, we stepped in. He hit the third floor. His reflection in the elevator mirror looked like a man about to throw up. Mine looked like a stranger holding herself together with nails. The doors opened to a hallway that felt too quiet. The carpet swallowed sound. He led the way like he knew exactly where he was going, like his feet remembered the path better than his mouth knew how to lie. He stopped at room 318. He hesitated, hand hovering over the handle, like he was praying for a miracle. Like maybe the room would be empty. Like maybe the note in my bra and the key card in my pocket were a dream. I took the key card out and held it up between us. His face drained so fast it was almost impressive. How long? I said, and my voice came out calm. Have you been bringing her here? He stared at the card like it was a gun. Please, he whispered, not here. That word, please, hit me harder than any excuse. Like I was the one causing a scene, like I was the problem for showing up to my own marriage. I slid the key card through the lock. The green light blinked, the door clicked. He grabbed my elbow, not hard, but desperate. Don't. I opened the door anyway. The room was dim, curtains half drawn, and on the bed, propped up against the pillows like she belonged there, was my sister, wearing the perfume I'd bought her for Christmas, her bare feet tangled in his hoodie, my name stitched on the chest in white thread.